Hello everyone, Shadow here, and welcome to another Transport Fever 2 update. And what I have for you today is sort of a bit of a compilation video of what I did on the Q and B lines, that is the Brighton line, heading out to Coney Island Stillwell Avenue. But before we begin today, I just want to take a moment just to point out a couple of things. First, I'll be putting the release of this map up for a vote in the near future. Just know that this comes with a few caveats. Mainly, the map has to be in a state where I deem it acceptable to be released. And the fact that this poll has to have a relevant number of respondents. What do I mean by relevant? Well, if there's only 10 respondents, that's not enough for me to want to release this map. By the time I'm relatively finished with this map, it would have represented a culmination of hundreds of hours of work. So I'm thinking something a little bit more significant than 10 people responding to the poll. And this is where you guys come in. I would like you to post below a number which you think is acceptable for the level of work you've been seeing throughout these videos. I'm thinking right now somewhere between 100 and 1,000 respondents. But I'm trying also not to delude myself because I am a small YouTube channel. So post below. Let me know a number that you guys think is representative of the quality of work that you guys have witnessed so far. Oh, also, I just want to point out there will also be a slowdown in the release schedules of all these upcoming videos that I've been working on. The reason for this is explained in my most recent general channel update. In case you missed it, I'll post a link for it up above. Lastly, and what is possibly the longest intro sequence I have done so far to date, I just want to remind everybody about the importance of social distancing. I do live in the general New York metropolitan area, New Jersey specifically, and I can tell you it is very serious out there. So please, please, please follow the recommended guides and protocols of your local administrations, and if you do not have to go anywhere, stay home. Whew! With all that said, some housekeeping. Please like, subscribe, and share. Doing so will really help my channel. Now, for the three of you who are still watching, you're probably noticing that I've started from downtown Brooklyn and I've been working my way towards Prospect Park, laying down Atlantic Center, and yes, the stadium is meant to be the Barclays Center, and right now I am designing Prospect Park, or at least the first take on it. I will tell you that the Brighton line has received numerous updates over the past few weeks, so additional mods have actually came out after I completed it, and I kept going back and making little corrections and more edits and more tweaks until it looks a little bit more pseudo-realistic. So in short, basically, whenever I finish a section of the line, modders will release a mod that would make it even look better. I mean, who am I to complain? So here I'm working on Parkside Avenue. Now, because of that, I actually had to move Prospect Park down a little bit. Not the whole park, I just made it larger so that it lines up with where the station entrances will be. So if Prospect Park looks a little enlarged in the final release, this is why. So here's a part that I actually just changed a couple of days ago. I'm putting down the retaining walls, being that the Brighton line at this point is actually below ground level, but not underground. And I'm putting up the retaining walls so that it will give the illusion that you're actually on the rail track. However, these retaining walls were too small. And it wasn't until recently that better retaining walls came out. So I actually tore down much of these retaining walls to put up the new retaining walls, which appear far more realistic. I'll show you guys some of that stuff coming up. So one of the things I wanted to do in this take of New York City, I wanted to actually put down some buildings on top of the Brighton line. Well, on top of several lines actually, because in real life the train line snakes through underneath some of these buildings, and I wanted to get some of that here. The only problem is there really isn't much in the by the way of suitable buildings in the game. So in the event of the final product having very weird mismatch and out of place buildings over the Brighton line, don't judge. I'm trying my best working with what I got. And speaking of working with what I got, this is a perfect example. Church Avenue is actually completely surrounded by buildings, and the line actually travels underneath a couple of them. I only wish that there was a mod in which it would allow single track tunnels on a multi-track system. Basically, you throw a bridge over some tracks and each of the legs land in between each track. Might take a lot of doing, but it would be nice. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, modders. So skipping ahead a little bit, I just want to take this moment to remind everybody that this is a pseudo series. And what I mean by that is it aims to be realistic without being completely realistic. The reason why I'm saying that is on the Brighton line, I chopped a lot of stations. Some stations I actually grew up around, so I won't be able to visit my pseudo home in the game, so to speak. So if you're wondering why Avenue H connects to Cortellia Road, that's why. I chopped out Beverly Road, I chopped out Newkirk Avenue, I chopped out Avenue J, I chopped out a lot of stations on the Brighton line. It was necessary. I'm sorry. So I wanted to include this bit because I wanted to give a special shout out to the modder Axel. It's because of his stations that I was able to initially complete the Brighton line. Even though right now I'm not actually using his stations to the extent that I was originally, a few of his stations do remain in the game. But now I'm using more so of the modular elevated stations provided by Lollus. I also wanted to include this part here to show you the complicated track setup I have going into Stillwell Avenue. Now the idea behind it is that any train coming from either direction can access any platform in Stillwell Avenue. Well, that was the idea behind it. I didn't quite accomplish that, but I got fairly close. Not realistic, but pseudo-realistic. See what I did there? Now, at the other end of the line in Manhattan, I included the Q line going all the way up to 125th Street. Now, I know that's not the real world termination of the line. In real life, it actually ends at 96th Street. However, it is the proposed new termination of the extension of the line, along with the T line, which I have not done. I may do, but at this time I have not. So here you're seeing the initial transformation from the older stations to the new modular elevated stations. This particular station is the West 8th Street New York Aquarium. I actually really like how this station turned out. You guys can actually find several screenshots in the Steam library about this particular station. I took several vantage points for you guys to review. So here are the new retaining walls I had mentioned earlier. Over the past couple of days, I've spent a lot of time replacing the old retaining walls with these new walls. And right now I'm contemplating whether or not to do it with the Sea Beach line as well. So let's see how it turned out. I really think you guys will enjoy this. So what do you guys think? Leave those thoughts below. And with that said, that concludes today's video. If you enjoyed what you've seen today, give it a like. It really does help my channel. I have additional videos coming out in the next few weeks, including the shuttle, F, M, and Z lines. I think you guys will enjoy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Wait, you didn't think it was over, did you? Nah, I wouldn't do you guys like that. After showing you all of that work, I know that everybody was looking forward to taking a ride down this line. So, I give you the Q train arriving from 7th Avenue all the way to Coney Island Stillwell Avenue. I hope you enjoy.